So Anthony Mendez, we're going to serve this one up, but I'm looking at Albert Regis's profile, and I'm seeing absolutely no connection to Florida or Miami in any way. So I see Albert Regis as the 32nd rated defensive tackle.
Mhm.
He's out of Texas. He committed to Minnesota. I do not see Miami on his list. I see Minnesota, Baylor, Houston, Illinois, Louisiana. Anthony, don't know why you're asking about Albert Regis in particular, but I don't know if you've heard the name, know him, anything
Yes,
about
he's
his tape.
definitely a Miami
Okay.
target. I don't know if we've
Okay.
offered him just yet, but he was a name that has been popping up, just like Deshaun today in Kane's Twitter world, as you are somewhat a part of because of you help guys like me and Cam hop on. But Kane's Twitter world is his own universe, so y'all be careful if you go into there. But just make sure if you do come in, you come in with respect because it is wild in there. Anyway, Deshaun and Regis are guys who are big time being talked about in the King's social media right now. So that's why I figured we would get a lot of questions about those two recruits today.
Luke Walker,
like
winning the Coastal. This should be, if everything goes as planned, which it hasn't in the Coastal almost ever.
Virginia
Tech was really good.
Yeah, didn't we do 7 years straight, 7 different champions?
7 different champions. Virginia turned out to be the last one. They had to win it this year. So if you go to Vegas and like to play, you should have known that already, that Virginia was destined to win it this year because they just had to. There was one more slot and they were the team and they had to win it. 7 different. This just doesn't happen anywhere else. Ohio State dominates their division. Wisconsin pretty much dominates their division. You got Alabama and LSU. You got Georgia. You got the top of the line in these divisions. But, man, for 7 different teams to share that championship, everybody wins it in that division. And where you would think, based on the talent on the roster, the talent that's available through recruiting and the tradition of the programs and everything taken into consideration, looking at that division, you would think Miami should win it about half the time. You would think in a 10-year span, Miami would win that division half the time. And then the other 5 would be divvied up between North Carolina and Virginia Tech. They would win 1 or 2, and Pitt may sneak in and has happened, and Georgia Tech's been good in the past. But you would think Miami would win that about half the time. The way it looks right now, you would think North Carolina, Miami is going to be the game of the year in the Coastal. But again, none of us can predict the Coastal. But the way it looks on paper, that game should be a heck of a game.
And then, the funny part about it is, being a Miami fan, you always had this sense of comfort as far as like, oh, well, we'll win it eventually. We'll throw a bomb to this guy or hand it off to Duke Johnson, he'll go 80, or throw one to Philip Dorsett, he'll score. And I think our coaches and players had that feel too. Because if you look at our program, none of those schools should be in conversation to win the Coastal. But what have they done? They've out-schemed and out-coached Miami over the last decade and a half. And you know what? That's why we've decided to work on it and finally put together a modern spread raid is what we call it in the Canes universe, offense mixed with the modern 4-2-5 defense, man. And to be honest with you, a lot of those teams actually have gotten pretty well. I mean, you look at North Carolina, they've put some guys in the NFL. You look at Georgia recently. Georgia Tech is kind of, up and down. Virginia was rolling for a little second there, but then it came back. Pitt is always a solid, hard-working, hard-coached team, and so is Va Tech. And once we understand that you got to be able to show up every single week. And any coach you listen to, whether it's Mario Cristobal at Oregon, whether it's Coach Nick Saban at Alabama, whether it was Coach Obermeyer when he was at Ohio State, one of the things they always say is that it's hard to field the same team every single week. So you have to really implement that into the young men who are under your tutelage, the importance of consistency and rising to the occasion, understanding that you are prepared to be in this situation. Go out there and make the play. We put you in a situation, make a play on the ball. Don't be scared. It's right there. Make a play.